An Eastern Conference finalist poached the top assistant coach from a big-time rival. DeAndre Hopkins signed with Clutch Sports, which gives us a massive hint at his next team. And a walk-off grand slam wasn't even the best thing to happen at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago on Sunday afternoon. Let's take a look back at the weekend that was in sports. Welcome in, everybody, to the last weekend in sports. Thank you. Yes, quiet down now. We got a show to get to. It's your boy, Scott Procter, and I'm your Monday morning quarterback. Before we get into today's show, though, make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment and subscribe. And always be on the lookout as we will use your comments and feedback in future videos. And be sure to stay tuned to the end of this episode to find out who I award the Weekend Warriors. Well, let's try something out a little bit new and give a shout out to an organization that is giving back. But to this episode here today, after the Boston Celtics fell in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Miami Heat, team president Brad Stevens said head coach Joe Mazzulla will return. And so did I on a recent episode of Procter's Point of View. But Stevens also said he wanted to hire a veteran assistant to Mazzulla's staff. And over the weekend, he did just that by adding Sam Cassell to the Celtics bench after spending the last 3 seasons as an assistant with the Philadelphia 76ers. This is a big get for the Boston Celtics, not only because of the loss of Cassell for their Eastern Conference rival in the Philadelphia 76ers, but also because Cassell is one of the top assistant coaches in the entire NBA. He was loved in Philly, particularly by those players like James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and Cassell has been a head coaching candidate for several recent openings around the league over the last few years, including the Rockets job that just went to Ime Udoka. But maybe the biggest winner in this move is Sam Cassell himself. He's back with the franchise he won a championship with 15 years ago, but more importantly than that even, he wants to be an NBA head coach, and Boston helps him get closer to that. Joe Mazzulla will be back, as I mentioned at the top, as the Celtics head coach next season, but his seat is understandably just a little bit warm, if not outright hot. If Boston disappoints again, expect Sam Cassell to be the next Celtics head coach. But moving on from an assistant coach on the move to a star wide receiver who will soon be on the move himself, DeAndre Hopkins is a free agent after being released by the Arizona Cardinals, saving the franchise $8 million in cap space despite a $22 million dead cap hit that still remains after the release. It's a decision that Hopkins is probably thrilled about given the current state of the Cardinals and their new uniforms that are ugly. If you do got a current Arizona Cardinals DeAndre Hopkins jersey, then if you look a little something like this, like our producer, you may as well just throw that right in the trash.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
But to this topic, though, Deshaun Watson last week said he would love to team up with his former Houston Texans teammate again. And shortly after that, news broke that Hopkins is signed with Cleveland-based agent Kelton Crenshaw of who else other than Clutch Sports. If the Watson-Hopkins reunion doesn't convince you enough that Hopkins is headed to Cleveland, this right here should. Not only is Hopkins' new agent based out of Cleveland, but his new agency, Clutch Sports, is founded by Cleveland native Rich Paul. And Clutch represents more Browns players than any other agency. Myles Garrett, Jedrick Wills Jr., Ogbo Okoronkwo, good luck saying that, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Perrion Winfrey, and DeJuan Jones are all Browns players represented by Clutch Sport. Despite the Chiefs and the Bills getting the most attention for Hop services, D-Hop will soon be added to that list and reunite with Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. If so, watch out, because the Browns are going to be dangerous on both sides of the ball and very likely to make some noise in a really tough AFC conference. But moving on to the MLB, and I think this is the first. I think this might be the first MLB topic on Last Weekend in Sports, but let's get to it. It's for a good cause. Jake Burger's game-ending grand slam on Sunday helped the Chicago White Sox secure a sweep of the Detroit Tigers, but it also gave Liam Hendriks a day he'll probably never, ever forget. In his third big league appearance since missing the start of the season after being diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin lymphoma, Hendriks worked the 1-2-3 ninth inning, striking out 2 to earn his first win since returning from cancer. Even cooler than that, Hendriks' win came on National Cancer Survivors Day in the United States. I mean, how cool is that, man? The 34-year-old Hendriks was an all-star last year. He was the AL reliever of the year the season before that. And now he's a cancer survivor who's still sitting cats down with a mean, nasty fastball. But to our last topic, our weekend warrior, it's Bam Adebayo, who helped the Miami Heat to their first win in Denver since 2016 to tie the NBA Finals at 1 game apiece. Bam dropped 21 points, 9 boards, 4 dimes, 2 big blocks to give the Nuggets their first home loss of the postseason. Only LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Jimmy Butler have more 20-point finals games in Heat history than Bam Adebayo. Bam, you are my weekend warrior, my guy. Before we get up out of here, lastly, we want to take time out each week to spotlight and recognize a nonprofit organization that is out here doing work. This week, we're highlighting Habitat for Humanity. Since its founding in 1976, Habitat has become the largest not-for-profit builder in the world, operating in more than 70 countries, helping those in need as well as those affected by natural disasters such as hurricanes. Habitat has helped more than 35 million people construct, rehabilitate, and preserve their homes. Habitat states that they, quote, build because we believe that everyone, everywhere, should have a healthy, affordable place to call home. To nominate a nonprofit organization in the future to be featured in a future video, drop their name or website in the comments. But that's going to do it for this episode of Last Weekend in Sports. As always, make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment and subscribe, and stay tuned later today from Procter's point of view. Until then, have a good one. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bbmsports.com.